Crisis in Punjab AAP after Delhi debacle. Bhagwant Mann gets the shivers. Kejriwal chairs crisis huddle. Congress mocks AAP meet. Punjab Chief Minister rejects Mann is AAP's Shinde claim.
प्रताप बाजवा पिछले 2.5 साल से यही कह रहे हैं, तो उनको कहने दो, उनके पास है नहीं। उनको बोलो जी हमारे विधायकों की बात गिनती मत करो, अपने गिन लो दिल्ली में कितने हैं।
Can Kejriwal keep AAP united? Top focus at 6 p.m. prime with Akshita Nandagopal.
Good evening, you're watching 6 p.m. prime here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal and we're going to be getting you all the updates coming in on the Punjab meeting that took place in the national capital. This was all of the AAP MLAs coming together to meet with Arvind Kejriwal just days after that mandate against Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. There's endless speculation on whether there's trouble in paradise for the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab too. Is Punjab up after Delhi for the Aam Aadmi Party? We'll be getting you details of what really took place at that meeting and how the Congress and BJP are in fact lashing out at the Aam Aadmi Party, particularly Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, saying he looks jittery in the huddle that took place with Arvind Kejriwal. We'll get you those reactions. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Modi leads AI summit in Paris with President Macron, emphasizes on need to battle misinformation and deepfakes and hails India's AI progress.
India is ready to share its experience and expertise to ensure that AI future is for good and for all.
AAP huddle after Delhi rout. Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann meets Arvind Kejriwal, rejects Congress's Exodus claim. BJP repeats plot to replace Mann claim. Amid Delhi Chief Minister picks suspense, 10 BJP MLAs meet with BJP Chief JP Nadda. BJP yet to finalize date for Legislative Party meet. Trouble mounts for YouTuber Beer Biceps Parliamentary IT panel. May summon Ranveer Alabadia. COP summon panelists. YouTube takes down sex with parents joke video on government order. Mob runs riot in Karnataka's Mysuru. Derogatory post sparks massive clashes as police vehicle is stoned. Accused taken into custody. And in a big relief to Adani, Donald Trump halts U.S. enforcement of law banning overseas bribes. U.S. President says Biden administration's law was a disaster that hurts business ties. AAP's loss in Delhi has led to ripple effects for its government in Punjab. How? Well, it started with the Punjab Congress claiming that up to 30 AAP MLAs are in contact with them and looking to shift over to the Congress. And soon after that came news of a huddle taking place in the national capital. And you had Arvind Kejriwal chairing this meeting with Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and all of the Punjab AAP MLAs coming together. Now, the Congress and BJP have said that this was a huddle for dealing with the crisis of MLAs dumping the party. But the Aam Aadmi Party has said that's not true. They came together to discuss what is the Punjab AAP strategy for elections. That's not happening anytime now, by the way. It's happening in 2027.
Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and 93 of his MLAs made a beeline for Kapurthala House in Delhi for a meeting with AAP convener Arvind Kejriwal. The key huddle came 3 days after AAP's Delhi loss. And amid massive buzz that the Punjab government is on shaky ground, with the Congress leader Pratap Singh Bajwa declaring on India Today that over 30 AAP MLAs are ready to switch sides.
प्रताप बाजवा पिछले पौने 3 साल से यही कह रहे हैं, तो उनको कहने दो, उनके पास है नहीं। उनको बोलो जी हमारे विधायकों की बात गिनती मत करो, अपने गिन लो दिल्ली में कितने हैं। तीसरी बार उनके यहाँ कल्चर है इधर जाने का, कभी उधर आने का, कभी वापस आने का। मतलब एक उनका नेता है वो ढोल बजा रहा था कि आम आदमी पार्टी हार गई, तो नीचे कमेंट आ रहे थे कि भाई साहब ये जीरो पे ढोल बजा रहे हो कि आपकी जीरो आई है तीसरी बार। तो अपना फिक्र नहीं करते, दूसरों में नुक्स निकालते रहते।
Despite the entire Punjab government leadership being called to Delhi, the meeting lasted only 23 minutes. Sources tell India Today that Arvind Kejriwal told the Punjab MLAs that they must concentrate on 2027 polls and reiterated the AAP leadership was strong. The Punjab Chief Minister also told his MLAs that their aim should be to develop Punjab as a model state.
इतनी जल्दी उनको मीटिंग बुलाना, तो मेरा ख्याल है कि वो जल्दी टूट जाएंगे। जब पार्टी हारती है मंथन तो होता है, वहाँ की स्टेट का होता है, दूसरी स्टेट का नहीं होता। तो उन्होंने ये देख लिया कि कहीं दिल्ली में जो हुआ है वो पंजाब में ना हो जाए।
They are worried that what happened in Delhi may be repeated in Punjab.
देखो दर्द बहुत गहरा था, चोट बहुत बड़ी थी, और उसे मलहम लगाने के लिए 96 लोग यहाँ चल के आए। वो मलहम आज सिर्फ केजरीवाल जी की लगाई है, और बाकी दूसरा ऑपरेशन तो जो है अभी शुरू होगा।
The BJP and the Congress both continue to claim that time is running out for the Bhagwant Mann government.
को मौका एमएलए का तो जरूर बनाएंगे।
अच्छा, एक आखिरी प्रश्न, कितने ऐसे विधायक हैं जो आपको लगता है कि वो कांग्रेस के साथ मिलकर सरकार बनाने की इच्छुक होंगे?
लीडरशिप जिन्होंने बयान दिया वो कह रहे 30-35 विधायक हैं जो उनके साथ कांटेक्ट में हैं।
हारे दिल्ली में है बैठक पंजाब के एमएलए की। क्यों? क्योंकि सपना देख रहे हैं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी पंजाब के मुख्यमंत्री बनने का। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी सत्ता के बिना रह नहीं सकते। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी गलतफहमी मत रहना, अब वो साबित करने पे लगे हैं कि भगवंत मान नालायक हैं, करप्ट हैं, उन्होंने करप्शन नहीं रोकी, उन्होंने नशा नहीं रोका। ये सच है, लेकिन भगवंत मान को हटाकर अरविंद केजरीवाल बन जाएं, ये सच कभी हो नहीं सकता और ये कभी होने वाला नहीं है। इसलिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ऐसे सपने देखने बंद कर दो।
The Punjab political pot boiler continues to simmer. With Piyush Mishra and Ashutosh Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's bring in our reporters on this broadcast. We've got Kamaljeet Sandhu joining us live from Chandigarh and Amit Bharadwaj, who's been tracking the latest on that meeting that took place in the national capital. Amit, to you first. You know, there's a lot of questions about what really came up in that meeting. Why was this huddle called in the first place? The reason there's so much speculation, Amit, is the timing of it. You've called this meeting just days after the mandate that the Aam Aadmi Party received in Delhi. So that's led to, all of the speculation that AAP is jittery and therefore they're checking and touching base with what's happening in Punjab.
Akshata, this meeting was called precisely because of the timing, Delhi debacle, and now you need to focus on the organization, on strengthening the government where you have, and also the pathway for the elections that are coming up. What has happened with this particular meeting at Kapurthala House is that 3 agendas has been served. Number one, as there were a lot of speculations, claims being made by several leaders of Punjab, including Pratap Singh Bajwa, that X number of MLAs are ready to break away from Aam Aadmi Party. You had all these MLAs, and the Punjab cabinet and Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann at Kapurthala House, and the AAP MPs from Punjab who had worked during the Delhi election, they were also there. So that message has been sent across. In politics, sometimes you don't really need to speak. It's the body language, it's the action which speaks louder than words, and that has been done. Number two purpose, obviously many of these cabinet ministers, MLAs and MPs were working in Delhi campaign. Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia wanted to extend their gratitude to these leaders. That has been done. Moreover, now that you don't have Delhi model to sell across the country, because so far what was happening was whichever state Arvind Kejriwal went to for campaigning, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Goa, he used to sell the Delhi model of politics. So that is gone. Now you have to develop Punjab as your model state, and that message has been given very clearly to Punjab Chief Minister, the cabinets and the cabinet of Punjab as well as the MLAs. Back to you.
Let's bring in Aseem Basi also on this broadcast. Aseem, a lot was talked into about Bhagwat Mann's body language today in that meeting. You know, the BJP and Congress saying he looked nervous, he looked jittery, and attributing it to the fact that he's going to be replaced as Chief Minister of Punjab by Arvind Kejriwal, that Kejriwal will step in. How true are these claims? What are you hearing from your sources?
Well, as far as mathematically the numbers are concerned in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party is a very comfortable position because we have total house of 117, out of which 94 are with the Aam Aadmi Party, and opposition is this Congress is in double digits. But as far as change of guard is concerned, I don't think so it's going to happen very soon. But definitely, it's a huge moral shocker for them because they always relied on the Delhi model. They always relied on the schemes of the Delhi. But now when the Delhi model has been rejected by the people of Delhi, so they need something new to sell on Punjab, because they might have given free electricity in Punjab, 600 units. They might have claimed that they have given 50,000 jobs. But there is one big ticket promise that 1,000 rupees per month to the women. The women of Punjab are still waiting for that. And they went all crisscrossing all the streets in Delhi saying that they will get 2,100 in Delhi. But in Punjab, it's been 3 years since the government has been formed, and they failed to deliver on that front as far as the money to the women is concerned. Moreover, law and order is a big situation where opposition is attacking them. We have seen in the past couple of months that police stations and police chowkis have come under attack, and the grenade attacks have taken place over there. So there's a lot to do for Mann government in Punjab, and they'll have to do.
But is there a possibility, Aseem? Is there a possibility of Mann being replaced as Chief Minister?
Well, it seems too early, although opposition, be it the BJP or the Congress, they are attacking him on this. But definitely, Kejriwal must have given them a roadmap for what needs to be done for Punjab. But immediate change, I don't think there's any possibility.
Okay, looks unlikely, essentially, that Bhagwat Mann will be replaced for now. Aseem, Amit, getting us those details, thank you very much. And at this point, of course, this meeting has led to a lot of speculation. But amid this talk of the Congress, the Punjab Congress, Pratap Singh Bajwa, in fact, made that claim that 30 AAP MLAs are in touch with us in Punjab. What does that really mean, numbers-wise, if you break it down really in the Punjab Assembly? As Aseem told you, the Aam Aadmi Party has a comfortable majority. If you look at really the overall numbers, and you look at the Aam Aadmi Party, they're at 93. That's a solid number there for AAP. Congress is at 16, way behind. Akali Dal at 3, BJP at 2. So the total number of seats, 117. What does that mean? The majority mark is at, it's at 59. So let's say of the 93, you've got 30 that go over to the Congress. What does that mean? Well, the AAP then reduces their number from 93, goes down to 63. That still means that they're above the majority mark. It means that the AAP government doesn't collapse if 30 MLAs switch over. The Congress needs 43 MLAs from the Aam Aadmi Party to actually reach majority. So of 93, 30 does nothing. The Aam Aadmi Party remains solidly in power in Punjab. They need 43 MLAs to switch over, which is a big ask for the Congress from the Aam Aadmi Party to actually be able to really rock the AAP boat in Punjab. So it is going to be a challenge. There's endless buzz, speculation over it. But if you look at the actual numbers, it's going to be very hard really for the Congress or any other party for that matter to really rock the AAP boat because of the sheer numbers that they have in the Punjab Assembly. Okay, let's also get you details of what really transpired in that meeting that took place this morning in Delhi. 8 MLAs skipped the meeting due to personal reasons, and allegedly they all spoke to, in fact, Kejriwal and Mann and informed them that they would not be there for the meeting. So the Aam Aadmi Party reportedly is sure that their flock remains together. Now, sources tell us that Arvind Kejriwal, while speaking to these MLAs, told them to put out the word on the kind of work that the Aam Aadmi Party has done and has readied the blueprint for 2027 for the elections in Punjab, knowing how crucial it is, keeping in mind what's happened now in Delhi. So the Aam Aadmi Party's full focus seems to be now in holding on to Punjab. Like I showed you, they have the numbers right now. Will be very difficult really for any party to ruin their party really in Punjab to ensure that they don't have the numbers anymore. But having said that, now Kejriwal seems to be setting his eyes on 2027 as well. And here's a reaction coming in from Swati Maliwala, AAP MP, who's again targeted Arvind Kejriwal, saying that AAP MLAs don't want Kejriwal in Punjab and they are miffed at the possibility that Kejriwal could enter into Punjab next with what's happened in the national capital. Now, Swati Maliwal has claimed that Kejriwal's aide, Bibhav Kumar, who is the one she's also accused of assaulting her, is funneling money into Delhi from Punjab. Listen in to what the AAP MP said.
अरविंद केजरीवाल जी जब से दिल्ली में हारे हैं तब से शायद उन्होंने पंजाब की तरफ रुख करने की प्लानिंग करी है, अपनी जो राजनीति है उसको जिंदा रखने के लिए। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने बहुत अर्जेंटली एक पंजाब के सारे एमएलएज की मीटिंग भी बुलाई है, क्योंकि पंजाब के एमएलएज में इस बात को लेकर कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी कहीं पंजाब तो नहीं आ रहे, काफ़ी गुस्सा भी है, काफ़ी नाराज़गी भी है और काफ़ी अनरेस्ट भी है।
So even as the spotlight right now is on Bhagwat Mann and his government in Punjab, remember that the Aam Aadmi Party has relied largely on their promises of freebies that's been made in Delhi previously, made now in Punjab as well. The Punjab Chief Minister was actually busy campaigning for the Delhi elections in the last few months and of course making these promises about SOPs for women, doles for women and several other issues. But governance in Punjab on the issue of these promises has been in the spotlight, because at this point there's been no, in fact, freebies that have actually happened. In fact, at this point what we know is that Bhagwat Mann hasn't fulfilled many of these poor promises. The big ticket promise of 1,000 rupees of monthly stipend to women, AAP has failed to deliver. The Punjab government therefore is facing criticism on this particular issue.
वादे बहुत करे थे पर दिया कुछ नहीं हैगा जी। हाँ जी, नहीं जी, बिल्कुल भी नहीं मिला हैगा। हाँ जी, 1000 रुपए दूंगे, ना कोई रोजगार देंदे हैं सानू जी।
पर सोच के तो डालोगे कि 1000 रुपए नहीं दिया तो उस हिसाब से सोचोगे? हाँ
जी, उस हिसाब से सोचेंगे। हाँ जी, उस हिसाब से वोट डालेंगे।
2 साल हो गए ने, कोई इंतजार नहीं गा। देंदा तो कोई है नहीं। आग छड़ देने भी की सरकार नु जिन्ना चक्कर जावांगे कोई मिलना नहीं गा। मर गए तो मगरों मिल गया की कमावांगे, कुछ भी नहीं कह सकते।
Okay, so you've got, in fact, a focus right now on what Mann has done to ensure that their poor promises are fulfilled. And there are questions about why he was busy campaigning in Delhi and therefore missing out on cabinet meets in Punjab, which perhaps has also resulted in this. But let's speak, and as we talk really about the fallout of the Delhi verdict in Punjab, across the country also, we've been looking at a clear rift in the India bloc. AAP versus Congress has been playing out rather openly in Delhi. But there are other parties also who are now speaking out and largely against the Congress. Mamata Banerjee has reiterated that in Bengal, Trinamool Congress will fight the BJP solo. She said there's no question of an alliance with the Congress and that the Congress has no presence in Bengal. She's also, remember, been pushing to be the face of the India bloc. The Trinamool Congress has been holding a sustained campaign on that. On the other hand, the Samajwadi Party has questioned the pre-poll strategy, blaming the planning and said that each party should fight elections in its own style. Now, the Congress, which remember had no seats in Delhi, won no seats in Delhi, blamed a half-baked alliance, as they put it, saying that it merely created confusion among the voters of Delhi.
देखिए, हर चुनाव के बाद समीक्षा अपने ढंग से अपने तरीके से सब करते हैं। चुनाव से पहले कि ये समीक्षा अगर होती तो आज बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं होती।
पश्चिम बंगाल में ममता जी इंडिपेंडेंट लड़ी है, चाहे विधानसभा हो या लोकसभा हो, उसमें कोई ममता जी ने नई बात नहीं कही है। लेकिन हमारा ये हमेशा मानना है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी देश की बड़ी पार्टी है, अपने जो अलायंस है इंडिया ब्लॉक में है, उनके साथ उनका डायलॉग रहना चाहिए।
तो कांग्रेस को सोचना चाहिए वो किस तरीके से देखती है। इंडिया गठबंधन की कप्तानी कर रही है, जो जहां पर मजबूत है आपको इंडिया गठबंधन का धर्म निभाना चाहिए। अगर आप कप्तान हैं
तो जिस जगह पर जो बॉलर फास्ट बॉलिंग करता है, स्पिन करता है या बैटिंग जिस नंबर पे करता है उसको वहां कराया जाएगा ना। आप आकर के खुद ही खलल डाल देंगे और 13 सीटों के ऊपर प्रभाव डालेंगे, जहां 13 सीटों में आपने आम आदमी पार्टी को हरा दिया जो आपके घटक दल का है, आप उस टीम के कप्तान हैं। तो कप्तान ही जब जिस थाली में खा रहा हो उसमें छेद करे तो क्या किया जाए? ये तो वही बात है, रस्सी जल गई बल नहीं गए, ग्राउंड पर कुछ है नहीं। आम आदमी पार्टी 28 के 41 होता अगर 13 सीटों के ऊपर कांग्रेस ने भंगचूर न कर दिया होता तो।
इंडिया गठबंधन को समीक्षा करनी चाहिए कि हार के कारण क्या है। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कहीं न कहीं हमारी समझ में कमी रही है। हरियाणा में अगर चुनावी समझौता हो जाता और हरियाणा में कांग्रेस को सीटें आम आदमी पार्टी को दे देती, और फिर दिल्ली में अगर जो चुनाव हुआ है, मुझे लगता है ऐसा था कि कांग्रेस पार्टी और आम आदमी पार्टी का समझौता जरूर हो जाता। अगर आप पूरे चुनाव का विश्लेषण करें तो ये पाएंगे कि अगर कांग्रेस और आम आदमी पार्टी का समझौता हो जाता है तो आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बन जाती। कहीं कमी रही है, मैं समझता हूं हमने जो गलतियां की उसकी समीक्षा होनी चाहिए और भविष्य में इस हादसे की घटनाओं की पुनरावृत्ति न हो।
देखिए, इसका अंतिम फैसला तो जो हमारा केंद्रीय नेतृत्व है वो करेगा कि आगे हम गठबंधन के साथ किस तरह चलेंगे। जो भी फैसला उनको लेना है वो फैसला लेंगे जो पार्टी के हित में है। मैंने भी अपनी राय दी है, मैंने कहा है कि ये तय करना पड़ेगा हम लोगों को कि हमको गठबंधन के साथ चलना है या अकेले चलना है।
Let's get you all the details of what we know about the big meeting that took place in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, between Tamaraga Vetri Karagam chief superstar Ilayya Thalapathy Vijay and poll strategist, or rather former poll strategist, Prashant Kishore. Prashant Kishore was seen at Vijay's residence in Chennai, sparking speculation on whether he's going to be assisting Vijay as he gears up for, in fact, his political fight in the upcoming Tamil Nadu Assembly elections next year. Let's tell you what we know about this meeting.
What's cooking between Prashant Kishore and Thalapathy Vijay? A meeting between the two at the latter's residence in Chennai has got Tamil Nadu talking. Prashant Kishore, who has been a poll strategist but now a politician in Bihar, met with actor-politician Vijay on Monday, sparking speculation that Kishore could be helping the superstar with his political strategy. Kishore also met with Vijay's right-hand man in party affairs in Chennai today, leading to buzz that this could be more than just a courtesy meet.
For the Game of Thrones 2026 Tamil Nadu elections, the pieces have started to roll, and it looks like Tamaraga Vetri Karagam leader Vijay wants to make the initial and powerful strike, for which he could get support from famed political strategist Prashant Kishore, who's been in Chennai for the past 2 days. He has met with Vijay and his senior leaders.
Vijay has become politically active, and in the last few months, there's been more clarity on his political ideology. On his party TVK's first anniversary, for example, Vijay unveiled statues of Periyar and Kamaraj. And then there was his meet with Parandur protesters, who were up in arms against the proposed airport in the area. He has more or less lined his ideology so far to Dravidian parties, but also hasn't shied away from criticizing the DMK. This meeting with Prashant Kishore once again highlights how serious Vijay is about Mission 2026, when the next assembly election in Tamil Nadu is slated to take place.
Both are free to explore the opportunities, what they feel is fit and right. Time only will say whether this opportunity proved right, it gave success. Only time will say.
We have seen many political parties coming and going. The party is a well-developed, well-organized party in every village in Tamil Nadu. Our party functionaries are there, they are working. But these new parties, they have to establish their units in every village.
Prashant Kishore does know a thing or two about Tamil Nadu elections, having worked on the DMK strategy previously in the 2021 Assembly elections, which the DMK swept. This time around, is Kishore going to be a special advisor to Thalapathy Vijay's political sojourn? With Pramod Madhav in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's bring in Pramod Madhav, who's joining us live from Chennai with more details on this. Pramod, there's just so much curiosity about how really Vijay plans on taking forward TVK's entry into electoral politics in the 2026 elections. And amid that, this meeting with Prashant Kishore has fueled buzz that perhaps Vijay is going to be tutored, advised by Prashant Kishore on how to, go about this electoral entry.
It absolutely is, Akshita. In fact, Vijay has been very serious about entering politics for the past 3 years at least, because he initiated this entry through the local body elections, and very, very strategically they did a very good play, especially in and around Puducherry area. And right now, just like you mentioned, the initial boost was Aadav Arjuna joining the party. He already had a political advisor whose name is John. And now the third one, and a very important aspect, like Prashant Kishore spending 2 days in Chennai, having nearly multiple hour meeting with Vijay. And right now, through sources we've come to know that Prashant Kishore is cleanly going to monitor the political strategy of Tamaraga Vetti Kazhagam, and he's also could be a kind of a mentor for Aadav Arjuna. So even though Prashant Kishore do not want to directly involve in Tamil Nadu elections for TVK, it looks like the route could be through Aadav Arjuna, Akshita.
He's a politician himself. He's no longer a poll strategist, but he seems to be making an exception for Vijay for the TVK. Let's see if that helps Vijay, considering that Prashant Kishore was part of the DMK's successful campaign in 2021. Thanks very much, Pramod, for joining us with those details. Let's now take a look at what played out in Parliament today when you had DMK MP Dayanidhi Maran questioning the simultaneous interpretation of Lok Sabha proceedings into Sanskrit, saying it's a waste of taxpayers' money and linking it to RSS ideology. It prompted a sharp retort from the Lok Sabha Speaker. Take a look.
Sir, the population survey in 2011 said only 73,000 people are supposed to be speaking. Sir, when that's the data, why should the taxpayers' money be wasted because of your RSS ideologies?
अब माननीय सदस्य, आप दुनिया के किस देश में रह रहे हो? ये भारत है और भारत की मूल भाषा संस्कृत रही है, और इसीलिए हमने कहा 22 भाषाओं में, केवल संस्कृत में नहीं कहा। आपको संस्कृत की क्यों आपत्ति हुई? आपको संस्कृत भाषा की क्यों आपत्ति हुई? आपको हिंदी में आपत्ति हो, आपको संस्कृत में भाषा हो। भारत में 22 भाषाएं हैं जो संसद में मान्यता प्राप्त है, और 22 भाषाओं में होगी, संस्कृत में भी होगी और हिंदी में भी होगी।
An interesting retort there from the Lok Sabha Speaker, saying there are 22 languages and that includes Sanskrit and Hindi.
Prime Minister meets friend Macron. Modi-Macron lead AI summit in Paris.
AI is writing the code for humanity in this century.
US hails Prime Minister Modi. Was AI giants in Paris for summit.
So the real promise of having an AI assistant in the context of anything you're doing, and it's going to deeply be embedded in your workflows.
Modi-Macron bonhomie on display. Top focus at 6:30 p.m. with Akshita Nandagopal.
Let's get your highlights of the Prime Minister's visit to France. And of course, the biggest headline was the AI Action Summit in Paris, for which Prime Minister Modi was the co-chair. So he was also, in fact, giving the introductory opening remarks, where Prime Minister Modi, in fact, along with French President Emmanuel Macron, stressed on what really the AI summit would discuss, would look into, including democratizing AI, the threats of, in fact, digitizing the world, like cybersecurity, which need to be addressed, and also highlighting, very importantly, that machines will never overtake humanity, a message that echoed through, in fact, the rest of the summit, as several leaders hailed that very message. Here's our report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi co-chaired the Global AI Action Summit in Paris with French President Emmanuel Macron. Highlighting both the transformative potential and inherent risk of artificial intelligence, Prime Minister Modi emphasized the pressing need for global cooperation in AI governance.
We must develop open source systems that enhance trust and transparency. We must build quality data sets free from biases. We must democratize technology and create people-centric applications.
The Indian Prime Minister underscored that AI is progressing at an unprecedented pace, shaping the future of humanity unlike any other technological milestone in history.
Friend, loss of jobs is AI's most feared disruption. But history has shown that work does not disappear due to technology. Its nature changes and new types of jobs are created. We need to invest in skilling and reskilling our people for an AI-driven future.
And India is prepared for this new age intelligence potential.
We have unlocked the power of data through our data empowerment and protection architecture. And we have made digital commerce democratic and accessible to all. This vision is the foundation of India's national AI mission. That is why during our G20 presidency, we built a consensus on harnessing AI responsibly for good and for all.
Joined by French President Emmanuel Macron at Grand Palais in Paris as co-chair for Action Summit Global Leaders, Prime Minister Modi's proposals were welcomed warmly. US Vice President, while thanking him, established the promise of leading the industry with example.
I appreciate Prime Minister Modi's point. AI, I really believe, will facilitate and make people more productive. The administration will make sure that America has the best trained workforce in the world. Our schools will teach students how to manage, how to supervise, and how to interact with AI-enabled tools as they become more and more a part of our everyday lives.
The ongoing Global AI Summit is star-studded with the presence of not only global leaders, but also the movers and shakers of tech and AI industry, like Sundar Pichai, Sam Altman, Google DeepMind's Demis Hassabis and others. Deepfake and the dark world of cybercrime are the biggest concerns threatening the artificial intelligence industry. From CEOs to global leaders, both the stakeholders are united to fight this nemesis.
So we are early on working on technology like SynthID, watermarking technology. We will need standards, and those are areas where governments and private companies can work together to create a standardized way to detect deepfakes.
Bureau Report, India Today.
Thank you so much.
Let's get you some of the images that have come in, highlights of Prime Minister Modi's France visit so far. Prime Minister Modi attended the AI Action Summit, in which he was the co-chair along with French President Macron. This was the photo op soon after the summit kicked off with all the other world leaders. Prime Minister Modi also met with US Vice President J.D. Vance at the LSE Palace. Modi congratulated Vance for what he called a great victory. This is their first meet since Vance became Vice President. Listen in.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. So nice to see you. Great victory. Yes. Yes, so much. It's a beautiful place. Thank you for being here. It's great to be here. Congratulations. Thank you so much. So nice to see you. Great victory.
Red carpet was rolled out when Prime Minister Modi touched down in Paris. He received a warm welcome with a special guard of honour and was received by the Minister of the Armed Forces. The Indian diaspora queued up in large numbers outside Prime Minister Modi's hotel in Paris despite the biting cold as Modi Modi chants echoed on the streets. That's all we have time for in this edition of 6 p.m. Prime. I'm leaving you, however, with an image of President Donald Trump. Busy at work, signing now an executive order aimed at encouraging the US government to buy plastic drinking straws, to go back to plastic straws, because he claims paper straws are useless.
It was #1 trending for 3 days or something. We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. And I don't think that plastic's going to affect a shark very much as they're munching their way through the ocean.